Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bleach Brave Souls video. Today's video is going to be a bit more of an informational type video because tomorrow we have the new gacha with Shinji, Soifon, and Ichimaru Gin. So a lot of people have been asking in my comments and on the Discord, what character should they raise up to 6-star first? And since so many people are asking, I figured I would just make a video and answer all those questions at once. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not, an expert on this game, but I do play it a lot, and I do think about it quite a bit. So I feel like I have a good understanding of the 6-star system and the 6-star ascensions that are coming up. But with that out of the way, who should you ascend to 6-star first? All right, the answer is pretty easy. If you get one of the new characters, either Ichimaru Gin, Shinji, or Soifon, you should definitely do one of those characters first, in my opinion. Those characters, they're just a tier higher than all the old characters. So you have the new gacha characters up here, and then all the other, the Ichigo, the Grimmjow, the Kenpachi, they're just a little bit lower. If the new characters are the first tier, the old characters are the second tier. That's not like an absolute rule. I mean, there is some room for debate, but in general, that is my opinion. So if you get one of the new characters, that's the character you should ascend first. If you don't, and you have some of the old characters, we'll go through all the stats and all the abilities, and hopefully that will give you a better idea or a better base off of which to make a decision. All right, so let's get straight into it. I've ordered these guys from who I think is not worst, but who I think is like the least powerful to the most powerful. So starting off, Komamura. Komamura's 6-star version is, you can see the stats there. He does have the highest defense in the game, which is to his benefit. But the attack isn't that great, and the other stats aren't particularly like great either. So what you're gonna look for in these older characters is what abilities they're getting. And as you can see here, Komamura is gonna get the killer attribute of Hollow Killer, so he'll do 20% more damage against hollows. His soul trait is the same; it's unchanged, plus 20 strong attack damage. He is getting a buff to his strong attack damage, his strong attack range, and the number of hits that his strong attacks will do. And if my understanding is correct, when he does a strong attack, if you upgrade this particular skill, it will double hit. So that is pretty good, guys. The only drawback is that his spiritual pressure isn't that high, so it's still not going to be a huge amount of damage unless he has the attribute advantage and the killer advantage. Other than that, he has an increased normal attack range and an increased normal attack speed, which are both really good traits. But again, it's kind of held back by his relatively lower attack, which is only 459. And the last thing is his special ultimate attack will slow enemies. I guess that's situationally useful, but overall it's underwhelming in my opinion. So I got to put him as the, if he's all you have, then go ahead and ascend him. But if you have other stuff, you should pretty much ascend anybody else before Komamura. Once again, it's my opinion, guys. All right, so moving on from Komamura, I got to put Hueco Mundo Mayuri. And, that's not just because I don't like him. It's because that, once again, like Komamura, his stats are underwhelming, and his abilities are, some of them are pretty useful, but overall it's not that impressive. If we look at his attack, it's only 458. The defense, it's actually above average for a 6-star. Focus is also slightly above average, and spiritual pressure, it's whatever, it's average. So statistically speaking, he's not that good. He's better than a 5-star. That's about all I can say about it. His abilities, his killer attribute though, is very good. He does 40% damage against Espada class opponents. and that's quite a bit, guys. That could totally make up for his lower stats, in certain situations, like in PvP or whatnot. If you want to go through the effort of matching up your opponents and doing research on them, he could definitely be useful to you. His soul trait is minus 12% strong attack recharge. Nothing's changed there. His strong attack range has increased. His normal attack range has increased. And he also has an increased duration to his paralysis. Mayuri has a chance when he hits an opponent to paralyze them for a given amount of time. And guys, I've seen this proc happen in a clip. I think it was from the K-Lab live stream, one of the older ones. And if this goes off, guys, it stuns for a long ass time. You probably wouldn't be able to survive it in PvP. It's just I don't know how many seconds it is, but it's a long time. And this applies to his ultimate attack as well. But then again, it's a random chance. So it might go off, it might not. The rate of it happening is not very good. But if it does go off, you're pretty much guaranteed a kill. Also, he has a upgrade where his special ultimate attack can reduce enemy defense, and that's also good situationally. But it's a little bit underwhelming because the special move is only something you can do once. I guess against bosses in the story mode or in the co-ops, that's very good. But in PvP, the chances of you getting the orb are 50-50 most of the time, even if you select the green strategy. So I wouldn't even consider that a factor when deciding on what 6-star to ascend. But yeah, Mayuri comes in at number, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He comes in at number 6. There's better choices than Mayuri. Moving on is, I hate to put him here, but I gotta put Byakuya at number 5. Byakuya is my favorite character. I love him to death, and he's just a little bit too niche, and I'll explain what I mean. If you look at his stats, 665 stamina is low, guys. There's just no way around it. 440 attack is really low, guys. Once again, no way around that. 268 defense is slightly above average, so that's good, I guess. 287 focus is probably top 5 in the game, so that's awesome. And that kind of makes up for his low attack because he's going to critically hit more. But it's based on chance. So I mean, he might crit more, but it's not going to be consistent or reliable unless you boost it up a lot. So having high focus is good, but overall focus is kind of an underwhelming stat. Spiritual pressure, however, is really good, 531. So what does this mean, guys? It means that Byakuya is going to depend on 2 things. He's going to depend on crit, and he's going to depend on his strong attacks to do damage. Obviously, he's also going to depend on his dodge, which he has, and it's the same. It's unchanged. And if you look at his abilities that they've upgraded, it all plays into what I just said. So strong attack damage is increased, strong attack range is increased, and the strong attack number of hits his attacks will do is increased. So his strong attacks are going to be his bread and butter. Defensively, he doesn't have that much stamina, so he's going to rely on dodge. And for normal attacks, he's going to rely on crits. It's not a terrible setup for a character. It's really the way he was set up before the 6-star upgrade. So he's pretty much just the same thing, but to the next level. He also has a upgrade where his special will hit more times. It'll hit more than one time. So his special will do multiple hits, and that's good, but it's not it's not game breaking or anything like that. And he also has emergency evasion, which when he gets low on health, you can double flash step. So I mean, that might be able to help you if you're doing a co-op mission or doing a raid. Byakuya, he's a very niche character, and it'll depend, how good he is will depend on how you build him. Alright, so moving on to the next character, I put Uryu as the next character. And Uryu, statistically, he's not bad. He's for a range character, he's decent. He's statistically better than Byakuya, to be honest. He's got 692 stamina, and that's low, but he's a range character, so normally that's what happens with range characters. Now, 484 attack is good for a range character. 273 defense is also good. 297 focus. It might be the top 2 or 3. It might be the highest in the game. I'm not sure. I'd have to recheck it, but it's definitely top 3. So that means he's going to critically hit a lot, just like Byakuya. But his spiritual pressure is a little bit low, so his strong attacks won't be as good as Byakuya. If we look at his abilities that they gave him, he's got the killer attribute against Arankar. He's got the 11% dodge, just like Byakuya. He's got buffed normal attack damage and normal attack speed, so he'll hit a little bit harder than his attack indicates. His speed will be faster as well. Also, his strong attack damage is increased and its range is increased. So, those things might make up for his lower statistics. You'd have to consider that for yourself. And his special move number of hits is increased as well. That's not that big a deal to me. The buffs that upgrade your special move, I don't really consider them that important. But he also has emergency evasion. So, as I said before, that allows you to double flash jab when you're low on health. Overall, he looks really similar to Byakuya. He's less focused on strong attack damage, and he's just more well-rounded. But Byakuya has a higher upside. If all the things go Byakuya's way, Byakuya is gonna be a strong character. But things cannot go his way, and he'll just be destroyed. So Byakuya and Uryu, between those two, it's really a matter of your personal preference. I would go with Byakuya just because I like him better. But as far as their effectiveness goes, they're pretty similar. All right, guys. So coming in at number 3 in my personal list of the best 6 stars to ascend is Ichigo. And if you look at Ichigo's stats, they look pretty solid. 503 attack is not too bad. He has pretty decent focus as well. Spiritual pressure is a little bit low, but the rest is good. So, statistically, he's all right. If you look at his extra traits, though, he does do 40% extra damage against captains, so that is a very good killer trait to have. His soul trait is the same as it was before, minus 12% strong attack recharge, excuse me. He also has a normal attack speed increase, and he has a strong attack range increase. The rest of his abilities are buffs to his special ultimate attack, and you can get you can increase its damage, its range, and the number of hits it scores. So he's not overwhelming, he's not super good, but he's well-rounded in my opinion, and he does have the emergency evasion, which could be useful in in raids or co-op where you're low on health. But overall, he's not fantastic, but he's not terrible. He's kind of average for a 6-star, I would say. So number 2, and this was kind of tough because they're both good characters, but I put Grimmjow at number 2, and he could easily be number 1. He's still very good. He's still a very good 6-star character. I just felt that Kenpachi had a few better extra traits that they gave him, so that's why he is going to be ranked 1. But if we look at Grimmjow, his attack is 536 as a 6-star, which is excellent. Defense is also very good, 272. Focus is very good. Stamina is pretty good. And, the only thing that's kind of low is spiritual pressure, but it's not even that bad. So, his statistics, they look really good. If we look at his extra abilities, he's also got the killer trait, 40% extra damage against captains. But here's the thing to notice, guys. His soul trait, it goes from plus 27 attack as a 5-star to plus 40 attack as a 6-star. And that doesn't really happen too much with the other soul traits. So that is definitely an advantage for Grimmjow. If you combine that with his 5-hit combo string and fast attacks. It's very good. Also, the normal attack damage is increased on Grimmjow, so I mean, it just works really well with the type of character he is. These buffs that they've given him. His strong attack range is increased. I'm not really sure if that's very useful. I mean, it's definitely useful, but it's not as important as the normal attack damage increase. And finally, we have his special move. Its damage is increased, and emergency evasion as well. So I mean, he'll be a good character to if you build him for normal attack damage. He already is a good character as a 5-star, but he's just pretty much he's the same way he was as a 5-star, except better. You know, nothing has really changed. Just everything is just a little stronger. Still a very, very good choice to send to 6-star if you don't get one of the new characters, or you don't have like a red Kenpachi or something. And so obviously Red Kenpachi, I think he will be the best 6-star out of the old characters to ascend to 6-star. If you take a look at his stats, he has a great attack, 541. Pretty similar to Grimmjow. His defense is a little bit low, 245. So he's kind of, it seems like he's kind of, you know, fragile. He does have decent stamina. And his focus is a little bit low, and his spiritual pressure is pretty high. So his strong attacks will do a lot of damage. His normal attacks will do a lot of damage. But you have to watch out because he might be a little bit squishy. So if we take a look at the extra traits that he'll get as a 6-star, it's really awesome stuff, guys, for Red Kenpachi. First of all, he's a 40% plus damage against captains. An excellent soul trait for PvP. His soul trait is still this last-ditch survival, which, you know, in my opinion, it's a terrible soul trait. If you don't know what it does, pretty much what it does is if you take a hit that kills you, instead of going to 0 hit points and dying, you'll just go to 1 hit point. You know, it's kind of like you can take an extra hit, is what it boils down to. The other improvements on him are normal attack range, normal attack speed, and normal attack number of hits are increased. So guys, I mean, normal attack range and normal attack speed are excellent, but it's this normal attack number of hits increase that makes him freaking broken. What it means is that every swing he takes will double hit. So, I mean, to my understanding, and I've seen some gameplay footage of it, so I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this. Yeah, his normal attacks will double hit. So, you know, it's just ridiculous. I mean, combine that with his 541 attack and, you know, the other buffs like the normal attack range and the normal attack speed, and he's gonna be a freaking beast. And, you know, that's not even all he gets. He gets strong attack damage increased and strong attack range increased. So his strong attacks with the 500 spiritual pressure will hit like a truck also. So pretty much all around, normal attacks, he hits like a truck. Strong attack, he hits like a truck. He's just a beast. And, you know, he has to be, like, in my opinion, I mean, he has to be the #1 guy to ascend out of all the old 5-star characters. The other buffs, wow, I haven't even gotten to the, it's called Poise, and it's another buff for Kenpachi where people have also called it super armor, but essentially what it does is when he gets hit, it doesn't stagger him. So what this means is, like, in PvP, sometimes when you wind up for a strong attack and you get hit in the middle of it, you know, it negates the strong attack and it doesn't fire. So you're not going to be able to interrupt Kenpachi with attacks. I mean, his strong attacks, once he starts them, they're going to go off. And that was a big problem for him as a 5-star, you know, because his strong attacks, they have slow startup times. And in PvP, it was really easy for, you know, your opponent to, you know, hit you and just stop the strong attack from coming out. But with this new ability, that's all going to change, man. He's going to be a monster. And if you have him, and, you know, he is a very, very good choice for your first 6-star ascension. The other thing I didn't mention yet is the special move duration is increased, which, you know, it's not that big a deal, but yeah, well, it's not that big a deal in PvP, but in you know, in PvE or in raids, it could be very powerful because it gives him a huge buff to his statistics, and now it's going to last forever. So Red Kenpachi. If you have him, you know, he wasn't good. It's funny how he was like people like made fun of Red Kenpachi, you know, they called him trash, you know, and you know, now that the 6-star Ascensions have come out, you know, he's like pretty much reborn. He's like an awesome character to have, and you know, you should feel lucky if you do have him. Anyway, guys, so hope you're ready for tomorrow, 6-star Ascensions. I hope this little guide helped you. Yeah, and good luck to everyone on the new summoning gacha, the new step-up summons that are coming out. It's going to be pretty fun. Anyway, that's all I have, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.